Yo, 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 what up, what up? It's your boy, Doughboy Tony. We back with another episode of What's the Word, baby? On the realest fucking platform, American Cholo. Y'all already know what it is. I got my boys in the building again. Shit, what's up, Frank? We got Frankie, we got Ronnie, we got the homie Philosopher in the building.
What's the deal?
Yeah. And we got a special guest for y'all today, man, in the building. Shout out my boy Wizzo in the building today, man.
What's happening, my people?
Appreciate you joining us, dog.
Hey, of course, my boy.
Hell yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, well, we got another special guest straight out of Santana. Y'all already know what it is. We about to kick it off with another dope episode, man. What's up? How y'all feeling? What's up with those fights this past weekend, man? I know we had some boxing. We had some UFC going on.
Bro, we had all kinds of different things happen this past weekend, bro. I think the first thing that I want to touch, I was in here last week.
Yeah.
You know, the big announcement, Canelo versus Munguia.
Yeah.
I think that's a banger of a fight, right?
Hell yeah.
Canelo hasn't fought another Mexican since Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And obviously, that was a shit show to say the least, right?
Facts,
Yeah.
facts.
But he hasn't had a competitive fight against another Mexican. I think the last person he fought that was competitive was probably Perro Angulo, which was like 10 years ago. Something crazy. So it's good to see Canelo back. I think that for the fans, just for everybody involved, is going to do well. There's nobody else that consumes more boxing than Raza,
or more beer. Fool.
or more beer than Latinos and Raza. So it's definitely gonna go up, right? I definitely see that selling out. I see it, it being crazy, and having two Mexicans in there going toe to toe is gonna be a war. I'm hoping for a war.
Most definitely. And I know a lot of people are looking forward to it. Shit, I know I am, bro. A lot of people, I seen a lot of comments, bro, a lot of feedback from a lot of like fans who are tapping into Instagram or whatever it is where the announcements were. And I feel like people aren't putting respect on Munguia's name, bro. Like, motherfuckers are talking about like, oh, who's he fight? Like, who's this? Like, why isn't he fighting Benavidez? I think Munguia got hands, bro. He's a solid boxer, bro, all the way around. I still think Canelo has the upper hand on him. Most definitely I do. But it's going to be a good fight regardless, bro.
Bro, absolutely. I think I'm going to give it to Canelo, right?
Yeah.
Canelo's doing to Munguia what Floyd did to him.
Facts.
Right? Where Canelo has all the advantage when it comes to experience, when it comes to obviously ring generalship and who he's been in there with, resume. But Munguia's a dog, bro. He got a hell of a chin. Is naturally the bigger man. So
yeah,
he has a dog in this fight, man.
Facts.
Most definitely, bro. And what's up with that knockout we saw this past weekend, bro?
Bro, Anthony Joshua against Francis Ngannou on the zone. I don't know if you guys saw that, but he sent that boy to the next realm.
Hey, well, he beat Elon Musk to Mars, fool. He fucking beat him, fool.
Bro, facts. If y'all don't know who Francis Ngannou is, he is a very well-respected, very talented MMA fighter.
Yep.
Most notably moved away from the UFC, kind of went on his own. Is known to be like one of the hardest hitting MMA fighters out in history.
Facts. Yeah. Facts.
History. Facts. Is the hardest hitting, MMA fighter in history. And he had a fight with Tyson Fury a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And he went the distance with Tyson Fury, right? Yep. He even put Tyson Fury to the ground, right?
Yeah.
And everybody thought like, okay, well, maybe this guy can really touch up like some real boxers. And then he goes
up. Fuck around and found out.
He fucked around and found out.
He found out,
bro. So Tyson Fury, AJ, he ended up fighting AJ. And, bro, AJ just put him on his ass. It was a very nasty knockout.
Oh.
It took,
I believe it was first or second round.
Like first or second round,
bro. Quick.
Yeah. It definitely took like 5-10 years off his life. Second round, for sure. But
but he got 15 M's,
20 M's
or 20 M's
for that fight.
Come on, dog.
He got paid 20, bro. 50 for AJ and 20 for Francis. He's made more money in the last two fights than his entire MMA career combined.
That's why he left. That's why he left fucking UFC.
Oh, absolutely.
That was the whole pedo.
He's an employee at UFC. He's not a boss.
Nah.
Like, those individuals. I love the UFC. I love MMA. I love what they're doing
love
over there.
Dana White.
100%. But
he's a gava though.
Those guys are definitely their employees, right? It's like the NFL, right? Like you have like these big superstars, right? But they're still
Yeah.
employees of the NFL.
Yeah.
They're not independent
Fucking
contractors.
billionaires own these fools.
100%. It's
Yeah.
not like a Canelo. It's not like boxing where it's, you know, you're like an independent contractor in
Yep.
that, right?
Yep.
You do have a promotion, but the promotion is kind of like a record label. You're an artist.
Yeah.
You kind of get to do whatever it is that you need to do, right?
They get their fee, but you get your bag.
100%.
It's the Coliseum.
It's the Coliseum.
Yeah, 1,000%. Hey, philosopher, I know you tapped in hella with MMA, UFC, all that. Let us know what's up with these past fights. I mean, the one I know a lot of people were very excited about. He's been doing his thing, but I feel like his fan base is just growing more and more. Is Sugar Sean, right? And I believe he won with the knockout this past weekend.
He won by starching. My bad if it's not aesthetically pleasing, but bending over like this is crazy. But before I do that, I want to add one thing because y'all both kind of did a low key slight jab right there, and I need to air one thing out. Spoke, all right? Yeah. So no, I took it personal, Papa. So you said he fucked around and found out. But one thing I promise you, nobody's ever gonna do. No boxer's ever gonna try to fuck around and find out
In the
MMA,
octagon, yeah.
and in any other division.
Well,
A boxer's the only fucking fighter. They don't want to play.
you do have James
No.
Toney versus the natural Randy Couture that happened. And he got quickly decimated for sure. He fucked around and found out.
Randy Couture?
The natural, bro. Randy Couture against James
That
Toney.
fool that's like 50, 60 now?
Yeah.
When that like happen?
This is like 10 years ago, bro.
Crazy, son. But what I will say, yeah, no, it's cool. You know, I'll be the first one to say a boxer's gonna hit harder and be faster and all that shit. His hands are nice, but only MMA dudes have the balls to step into another division and another element, right? Boxers are pretty. They're very tailored, and when it comes to the fighting world, they're the princes. It looks nice. Not pretty though. Frank's inside, he's beautiful.
Thank you.
He's a
Appreciate it.
beautiful. I got you,
Thank
Papa.
you.
I got you, Papa. But yeah, it's a different world, right? And the thing is, any MMA fighter could dedicate the time to having better boxing, but a great boxer would never dedicate the time to deal with 3 or 4 different combat sports just to be decent, right? That's an ego punch, and you really have to wipe the slate. But so what actually fucking matters, because fuck both of y'all for that comment, but what actually matters, man, Sugar Show, bro, Sugar Sean, right? That it's the Sugar Show, dog. Like people doubted him for whatever reason, right? And
Yeah.
I think they doubt him because of his presentation, right? Because he's almost childish in some ways, and I think that he's loud, right? But a lot of people don't have a problem with loud because people loved Conor McGregor. I think the real issue is when it comes to the stigmas that or the cultural memes that go around when it comes to fighting, they come from fucking people that don't even train. Right? 80% of this audience, they don't even fucking train, yet alone fight.
Or ever been in a fight.
Or ever, well, you probably got beat up, but you know, you might have won a fight. But most of these opinions, because if you've ever been paying attention to Sean, bro, that motherfucker's been nasty from the jump. He's very fast. He's very precise. He's very unorthodox. His feinting is one of the best in the game. And he just snaps dudes, bro. He will snap you and fuck you up. The crazy part about the AJ fight, Ngannou's a tank, and he's one of the strongest motherfuckers, right? He has the dude used to shovel sand and shit in Africa. He's got that like grit to him, that real man strength, not just becoming technically strong. AJ outclassed him with the basic one too. With boxing 101, what happened a few weeks before when Ilya again shocked the world? Basic fundamental boxing. 3 hooks, body working up to upstairs, right? Boxing's, when done right, it's an art. It's a true art, right? When done right. There's a few guys in the MMA world that they're just so nasty because not only are they high level, not only are they really good, but they're good in unorthodox ways that guys just haven't figured out yet. Another beautiful example, if you want to watch more moments like what happened with Sean, watch Zabit fight. Zabit is insane, and people, they don't. You can say that name to MMA fans, and they have no fucking clue who Zabit is. Zabit came in under the Khabib tank or camp, and all of those doggy guys, they're all good. Islam, Khabib, Zabit, that whole fucking camp. They're different types of men. Sugar Sean has technique down he's light years above most people when it comes to being technical. When it comes to doing the fundamentals and the basics right, he's mastered it, right? And what you realize in fighting is some of the longevity and legacy, they tie together with masterful fundamentals, right? When you have mastered the basics, it outdoes. It's weird, bro. Like if you watch jiu-jitsu fights, if you watch jiu-jitsu competitions, white belt and blue belt for some reason are the craziest. You see these guys pick dudes up, slam them, flying arm bars, flying triangles. But then you watch the black belts compete, and it's slow, and it's methodical, and they're not winning with flashy shit. They're winning with the basic arm bar. Exactly, right? Mastering the fundamentals is what really sets you apart and allows for the flashiness. And Suge understands that. Cheeto's is a bad dude.
Shout out to Cheeto.
Shout out to
Cheeto.
He's a bad dude.
Best chin in the UFC. Hands down.
That motherfucker was hungry because he ate that shit,
Bro.
right? But you know what I will say is that all of this, it's unnecessary hype, right? Because the only reason people felt any type of way is because if you know anything about MMA or if you know anything about Muay Thai, there's a nerve on the back of your calf, right? As an MMA or Muay Thai fighter, at a certain level of kicking, you learn this technique. When you kick people, you pull your toes back, right? It kind of strengthens your shin, and it also prevents it from breaking. If I'm going to teep you, I'm going to stab you with the bottom parts of my toes, with the little knuckles on the bottom of my foot. I'm going to stab that in your solar plexus. If I want to push kick you, I'm going to drive my heel into you. But there's this one really hard, and you have to be a surgeon to get it, where you jam your toes in one tiny spot in the back of their calves, and you hit this nerve. And when you hit that nerve, it literally paralyzes the leg. You can't use it no more. You'll try to sit on it, but it's like the leg is no longer there. You'll fall over. Go back and watch 2 recent controversial fights, and you'll see the same thing happened. His last fight with Cheeto, his leg got blasted, right? And that's why everything went to shit. It's not that the guy outclassed him at any level. It was the same fucking fight you guys just saw. It's just that an injury happened in a moment that if you've never been there, you'll never be able to see it. The other one was Conor McGregor.
That's crazy.
Conor McGregor, same thing. Go watch it in slow-mo. He defended a leg kick from, Poirier? And then after that leg kick, he rests his leg down. Poirier checks him with another leg kick back, because a lot of times, even in boxing, you learn, hey, if you're going to hit me, hit him back. It doesn't matter. Hit him back. Make sure he understands that if he's going to throw at you, he's going to pay every time, right? Same thing in MMA. So he throws a leg kick. It hits him in the exact fucking spot where the nerve is. Conor takes a step back like, that was nothing. And then if you watch that foot, he tried to step on it, and all the weight dangled, folded, and he fell back. And Dustin just came up and started cracking his ass. That fight would have ended that way either way. But those tiny moments, they're hard to catch. This was a victory that, to be honest, I feel like if that injury didn't happen in the first fight, you would have saw the same thing happen, right? Cheeto's a bad dude, but the levels of technique, they're different, right? The guy's just mastered distance. He's mastered range. He's mastered speed. He's mastered feinting. He's mastered playing with somebody's head. The other guy that's really good at that is Izzy. And ironically, both of them, people hate them because of how childish their persona is. Izzy's like, I watch anime. I jack off to anime porn. Cartoons, Pokemon, right? Fucking what's his name? Hey, but you know what? Them dudes, they don't spray and hope. They're not throwing all kinds of punches. They aim and fire.
Oh, yeah, and it's cool, like, fucking, seeing that. I've been tapping into that sport recently, bro, and, like, fucking just seeing Sugar Sean, bro, like, it's enjoyable to watch him, bro. Like, like you said, the way he is, bro, his movements, it's easy to watch. He's very enjoyable, bro.
Entertaining.
Yeah, most definitely, bro. But yeah, dog, that knockout was cold, bro. That fight was cool. I seen the highlights. I was like, damn, okay. I was gonna put some bread on him too.
You should.
It completely slept my mind. It completely slept my mind, bro.
Hey, just tell me you're not a real fan of Sugar. It's all right.
Nah, I just completely fucking slipped my mind, bro. But yeah, man, it was a good weekend for fighting in general, for sure. Boxing and MMA. A lot what was going on recently too, bro, in the sports world is the NFL, bro. The free agency, dog. People are getting signed left and right.
Kaepernick or what?
Fools are getting dropped. No, Kaepernick still hasn't found a team, dog.
Hey, shout out Kaepernick, though. He's a good guy.
No, but I mean, some of the biggest signings for me were obviously Derrick Henry went to the Ravens.
Damn.
Which is
Scary.
huge and scary for a lot of teams, bro. That team, I still think Lamar isn't him when it comes to passing the ball. So now it's like I look at it like now they got 2 dope ass running backs because Lamar runs the ball like crazy, bro.
Bet.
And
So es cremoso, güey.
Josh Jacobs from the Raiders, who is a phenomenal fucking running back, bro. He went to the Packers, and the Packers dropped Aaron Jones. That was interesting to see because Aaron Jones is coming off a huge fucking season, bro.
Okay.
He was making that Niners run defense look like shit in the
Yeah,
playoffs, bro. Yeah.
1000%.
And another
Fuck the
big
Niners.
one.
Fuck the Niners.
Yeah, fuck the Niners.
For sure. Adrian, fuck the
Adrian.
Niners.
Yes.
And another big one, bro, to me, actually, is Tony Pollard, bro. Signing with the Titans, bro.
Super random.
So now the Cowboys basically don't have a running back, G.
I think they're gonna draft. You know, you saw
They
Saquon.
have to.
You saw Saquon
Yeah,
going
they
to the
have to.
Eagles.
Oh, yeah. Saquon left the Giants, went to the Eagles.
So
Another big one.
I think now they're betting on the draft and trying to get somebody, somebody in the draft. I'm like,
Let's
I don't-
hope so because the Cowboys ain't doing shit.
I mean,
right
it's
now,
still not
bro.
gonna work, fool. But
You know that the Cowboys are the only team that did not participate in the first day of free agency,
It's
bro.
all right.
Everybody was signing motherfuckers. Fucking.
they got the
giving
biggest
people
bag though.
contracts.
What are they doing?
That's my question. Jerry Jones says he loves the Cowboys. It really don't look like it, G.
man.
I mean,
he's waiting, bro. He's waiting. He's like,
maybe he's probably just gonna give all the money they got to Dak Prescott.
Yeah,
bro. I think people are overpaying for a lot of these guys, right?
For some of them,
for some of them, are right. It's a
Yeah.
reach, right? Maybe
I mean, y'all overpaid for Romo, so
I'm like that, bro. That's like a decade ago, bro.
I
we're
fucked with
talking.
Romo though. Romo.
We're talking about right now, right? Like I think they're gonna draft a running back. I think they think that they can find more value in a draft pick,
yeah.
right? And build around the draft pick
Yeah.
and save this money for somebody that's gonna be a difference maker, like a safety, like somebody else on another corner, paying some of these guys that. The thing about the boys is they've drafted really well over the last several years. So they have
Yeah.
a lot of guys within their own team that they have to pay.
Yeah.
So, I don't anticipate them signing a big free agent like we used to. Like we've always been known to like sign some random fool for way too much money.
Yep.
So I think like they're gonna wait for the draft. I think they're gonna, see like who else is left. But like who else do you like that's in the draft market like for a running back? Like obviously I would have loved Derrick Henry. I think that would have been a perfect fit. But
Honestly, once I saw Pollard sign to the Titans, I was like, bro, there's no way Henry or Saquon Barkley does not go to the Cowboys. Like, there's just no way. It's one of the biggest teams in the league.
They got the
Probably
bag.
the most fucking money in the league.
Got the bag.
I'm paying Saquon Barkley or fucking Derrick Henry off top, bro.
Yeah.
Instead of risking a draft pick that can just be a huge bust,
Yeah.
which is very probable because, I mean, we know that, shout out the Rams. We fucking found 5th round draft picks, bro, in Puka Nacua, and he's a dog, bro. He ended up almost winning the offensive rookie of the year, bro. And it's possible to find players like that, but it's not very common, and the Cowboys don't have high draft picks,
Facts.
So it's a risk for sure. It's definitely a risk. I saw someone in the comments said Gardner Minshew's a Raider. Yes, Gardner Minshew is now also a Raider. What does that do for the Raiders? Absolutely nothing. If you
Yeah.
ask me, Gardner Minshew is just Gardner fucking Minshew. He's just another fucking mid-level quarterback in the league, and he joined one of the most mid-level teams in the league now. No offense to all the
Damn.
Raider homies out
The
there. I love you
Snickle
guys, but I mean, come on, dog. What really y'all doing? But at the end of the day, a lot of people don't also realize teams like the Cowboys, teams like the Niners, you guys got a lot of people that you guys got to pay fat, bro.
for
Yep.
sure.
So
got
you
a
can't
fat
just go
overhead.
out there and just fucking, be
Yeah.
throwing money around. You got to make sure that your stars are cool too.
Yep.
So, it's a difficult topic, bro. But, at the end of the day, it was a good fucking free agency. It's been a good free agency to me. I feel like a lot of shit changed, bro. It's going to be dope to see a lot of different people in different uniforms. Saquon is probably the most exciting one for me because he went to a division rival,
For sure.
which is crazy. Giants, Eagles, the same division.
all bad.
Yeah.
Fucking hood hopper, right?
He knows the playbook. He knows the whole playbook, fool. He knows the whole playbook.
He
fool.
does, fool.
That's crazy, dog.
Yeah, but and then shit, that's football. Baseball season's coming up.
Yeah,
Baseball season is
spring
right
season.
around the corner.
Fucking Doyers.
That's right.
I believe it starts
right.
in March, right?
Doyers.
Yeah, at the end of March.
Yeah, end of March. I'll be at the Angels home opener hopefully.
Yeah, fucking
Hey,
Nobody else will be there.
$5 tickets.
Man,
Bro.
this
$2
is a hater,
tickets.
dog.
Just you.
I shouldn't have said nothing about
Fool,
the
they
Cowboys.
gave him out
fool.
for
This
free,
fool,
dog.
I'll
You.
blow my head
Oh,
now.
You gotta
You and your
excited.
pops are gonna be the only
My
ones
boy.
there at the Angels.
The
home
whole
opening.
field to y'all.
It's all cool.
You got the whole stadium to
I'll
yourselves.
take it. I'll take
Fuck
it.
it.
Speaking of stadiums, the Clippers got a new motherfucking stadium right around the corner as well, dog.
I mean, you know,
Hater
it's
ass
for the
fools,
Lakers, you
dog.
know, a little home away from home for the Lakers, you feel me?
Right,
That's
right,
right.
You feel
right,
me, dog? No biggie, dog.
right.
Hey, talking about the Clippers, bro.
Shout out to the Balmer group, though.
Shout out to them, folks.
Hell yeah,
Shout out
Steve
to Bomber
Ballmer, the
Group,
best
for
fucking
sure.
owner in the league, G.
Yes,
Bro.
sir.
But talking about the Clippers, I wasn't here last week to sit here and talk about how the Lakers and LeBron came back on the Clippers in the fourth quarter and how you guys slipped.
You missed your chance, G. That was
20
like
points?
2 weeks ago, dog.
It just happened. You guys just choked another lead.
Hey, but then we went and fucking lost to the Kings. Fool. We had a 20-point
Fool.
lead, and then we fucking lost by 20.
But
fool.
we beat Oklahoma City and we beat Minnesota. So like we beat the top teams in the
True.
West, bro. So
True.
we flexed our muscle. Come
yeah,
on, dog.
yeah.
So like let's talk about like
I'll give you all that. You guys have probably beat like the top 10 best teams in the league, really.
Facts.
You guys have beat them, you know, but we'll see, dog. It all comes down to the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's all going to come down to that at the end of the day.
That's
you
right.
guys are still going to have to win that play-in.
sure.
We don't. We're probably
Yeah.
going to finish top 4, and we don't got to worry about that,
Yeah.
you know, but
But then y'all gonna
it-
choke in the playoffs.
and
it's-
do
we'll
absolutely
see,
nothing.
dog.
right?
We'll,
Yeah.
we'll have to see, dog. But you know, speaking of beatdowns,
Damn, dog.
this fool had to remind me of the fucking Lakers coming. LeBron scored 19th in the fourth. Fool, like
My
what?
boy,
in the fourth, G.
he's like
He
87.
outscored
fool.
us, dog.
He's like 87.
I only
fool.
respect it because I love LeBron. Fool, if
his
not,
hairline's like
fuck.
back here, fool.
I know.
187.
He did his
Fuck,
thing.
and
But
he did that,
speaking of beatdowns, last week we were here talking about it. It was last Wednesday.
Oh.
America Chivas, my boy.
3-0,
The
fool.
CONCACAF.
That's right.
America won
That's
3-0. And with that being said, man, that's gonna bring our boy Wizzo into this
Hey,
conversation.
fool, that's
I know
personal for
hey,
Wizzo,
Wizzo's
fool.
a
That's
Chivas fan,
personal,
bro.
fool. Hey,
Personal,
dog.
G.
That was a strong introduction.
Yeah, dog.
It's like, hey, come through. Let's chill.
Hey, come through.
Fuck your hometown, though.
Damn, fool.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey, fuck your hood, though. Damn.
Nah, I'll just play, man. What's
Yeah,
up,
nah.
Wizzo? How you been, bro?
Oh man, I'm great, brother. I'm great. You
That's
know
what's
what
up,
I'm
man.
saying?
Happy to hear that, dog.
Happy
You,
to be here. You know what I'm saying? Fucking around with the homies.
hell
fucking,
yeah, bro.
For all of those who don't know, this is Mario Wizzo Fernandez. He's a multi-platinum nominated producer,
Button pusher.
button pusher,
Audio engineer.
auto engineer, fucking technology spews out of his fucking pores.
This is a Lotte Musk that you were talking
Yeah.
about
the
last week.
elote musk of Santana. Hey, fun fact: he has his own day in the city of Santana.
Let's go, Wizzo
From
Day.
Guadalajara, Jalisco. That's
Yes,
why we're
sir.
bringing up the Chivas in America.
Yeah. Today's
Born
game
and
too,
raised.
by the way.
Oh, we got this.
Let's go.
Sorry.
What's
Wizzo.
up, Frank? I don't know. You want to give a better introduction of our boy here?
Yeah.
Frank,
He's-
Ronnie
he-
kind of was like,
I botched it.
on skates about it.
Nah. He's absolutely right. Like
Yeah.
obviously he's really kind of painting the story of like the homies, all the homies' accomplishments. I think a lot of you guys will know Big Wiz from his him working with Nipsey Hussle and him being an integral piece
Fucking
of-
double up.
of
Fucking rap
just the
niggas.
entire career, right? You executive produced multiple albums, multiple projects.
Crenshaw.
Not only were you the audio engineer, but you mixed and you mastered. Your resume speaks for itself, right? Grammy nomination, multiple platinum records. You're an inventor. You're a technology enthusiast. I think kind of getting into it, right? I think
Smartest fool I know.
smartest fool I know for
Yeah.
sure, 100%.
Timothy.
Timothy, Elote Musk.
I'm just glad ChatGPT is open, man. Cause
That's right.
right.
For those of you
all
that
these
don't
questions
know,
in my phone.
But definitely want to kind of get into that. Like, I know Big Wiz. I told a lot of people like how we met was this fool was the first fool that I used to pick up my weed from back in the day, right?
I love it.
So
What's up?
yeah, he was the first one to
damn.
have the spot in Santana, bro, where I'll go pick up my tree.
Nostalgic shit right
Bro, bro.
here.
So in one room he had a little dispensary situation, right?
All right.
And then the other room he's recording music, right?
Yeah.
So like I walk up and I'm like, okay, I want some of that. I want some of that. I'm like, hey, what are they doing over there, bro? He's like, hey,
Don't worry about it.
He's like, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it,
Don't worry
G.
about it, G.
He's over here. He's over here recording some music, and I'm like, bro, I'm trying to work in the industry too, and we connected, right? And then after that, like fast forward, like I ended up working with Ramon and Cassius and Shady and all of them, and then he started working with Nip, right? And then everything kind of went pretty fast for us. So, after that, like he kind of had his whole career, right? So I think kind of getting into it, right? Like I think the one thing that most people know you for is working with Nipsey.
Yep.
I'm like, bro, can you kind of give us a little background of like who you are, where you come from, and how did that actually transpire and how you got to like working with Nip?
Yeah, for sure. So, like Tony eloquently said, I'm from Munguia, you know what I'm saying? So I was born out there, you know, came out here, and really I was just trying to make a change, you know, so was in different bands, you know, just trying music in different ways. And I just started producing, just, you know, Fruity Loops 3, I think. I don't even know.
Damn.
I was just like, yo, I want to make music. You know what I'm saying? I was hearing people like making millions of dollars with music. And I was just like, that's cool, you know, but I kind of like the whole concept of being able to change the way people think. You know, music is a pretty quick way for that to happen.
Most definitely.
And so I just started producing music, started connecting with different people in the city, started sending out my beats, and just connected with a lot of people that kind of fuck with what I was doing. And low key, it was a summer, bro. I was just in my room, just boxers, bro, just making beats and shit. And like, someone's like, yo, you're on that Nip. I'm like, who's Nip? You know? Because it was fresh.
Yeah.
You know, this was like fresh. And I was like, oh, okay, that's Nip. You know, because everybody either knew Nip or he was just coming out. And I knew I had heard, you know, some of his tracks, Bullets Ain't Got No Names, but I really wasn't on him like that, you know, because it was fresh music. I was on my own grind, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I really been. I never, you know, it's hard for me to like fuck with a lot of things when I'm keeping my head down, just doing what I do. So people are like, yo, you on that Nip? And I was like, yo, let's go. You know, I was like, yo, that's fire. Like homies fire. Like I fuck with him. And it was like his thought process, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole thing that he was about, I just wanted to be part of that.
Yeah.
So I hit him up. I was like, yo, you know, I'm on that. You don't, you know, I produce, you don't got a clue. And he's like, pull up. And around this time, I was, you know, it was kind of a difficult time because I was kind of fighting a case, you know, so
That's right.
it was yeah. Yeah, so I was fighting this situation, and it was like, okay, everything just got good, but I might have to figure this shit out, you know.
You might have to go to camp for a little bit.
Yeah, and it wasn't even camp. I was
Little
facing 5 years.
with a little
you know what I'm
vacation,
saying?
you feel me?
It was
Yeah.
I was an adult, you know.
Little
so it's like-
penitentiary vibe, you feel me?
and you know, I really sent the prosecution. I made them, you know, really get their money's worth. So
You
they were pretty.
ChatGPT that fool, huh?
They were pretty upset, you know. So they really wanted to put me away, and it was just some dumb shit. So
Yeah.
I just started showing up, bro. You know, and at the time, Nip needed an engineer. He needed people to fuck with. So I just started showing up, pulling up every day, and I think really, bro, what kept me there is because I rolled blunts really good, you know. So I like straight up, bro, like
Fattest blunts you ever smoked.
Best Rolo I've ever met.
bro, like
Hands down.
being in the industry, like, you know,
I think
people.
we got a competition coming up.
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, so being in the industry, like, you know, everybody smokes weed, so like
Yeah.
I was coming with turkey bags and, you know, just being me. You
Some
know?
light.
Also, it
Yeah.
was easy to just
Yeah,
be
bro.
in the
I mean,
mix,
I
you
was
know what
pulling
I'm
up
saying?
in. I mean, I've always been a hustler. I was
Yeah.
pulling up in my whips. You know, a lot of people, and this was a time when, you know,
Shout out
a lot
JP.
a lot of people would struggle with, you know, music is not easy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to do extracurricular activities to really, you know, speak and be what you're about. You
You
know,
gotta
so
be financially savvy, my
yeah,
boy.
exactly. So I was pulling up. I was right. You know, so Nip could see that. You know, like yo, like this fool's like a
Like, you were
hustler.
about your shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So-
you weren't just like there to fucking
Yeah.
just be in the mix and not really like not necessarily not provide anything, but like you were just there to fuck around and
Yeah,
smoke
yeah.
and not get shit done and not do
Exactly.
nothing, and you weren't about nothing, you know. pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and so I just kept showing up, bro.
Yeah.
I just kept showing up. And you know, I the whole situation with my case kind of came through, and luckily I got to put an ankle bracelet on myself and really continue what I was doing. So throughout that whole time, I really just kind of honed in on my whole career, you know,
The
just
craft.
you know, just my craft and
Yep.
everything. And you know, I built mics and I built, you know, compressors, and really out, you know, because at the time, bro, it wasn't really cool to be like an engineer. You wanted to be a producer,
Yeah.
because like the next people that were coming around, and like you know, the industry was highlighting, you know, like producers, you know, Lil Jon, like Hit Boy, and like
And
you know,
Mustard and all,
Mustard, like
yeah.
all these fools were coming
Yeah.
out. So it's like, you know, being a producer was kind of like you wanted to do that. So for me, I was like, yo, how can I make myself indispensable in the industry, and kind of create this whole branding around myself.
Yep.
So I was literally like the dopest, coolest engineer. Like, you know, like I
You were
just
the
made
wizard,
it. Yeah,
the wizard,
I just
bro.
made it like, because usually like engineers were like dorky, kind of like, you know, so it was like I was coming in like being about, you know, what I'm about. So I think that kind of gave me the edge. And
100%.
you know, I just kept showing up, bro. And then kept rolling blunts, kept, you know, just whatever was needed from me. And then one day Nip is just like threw me the keys. And it was like, oh shit, like now I could come here, you know, which was cool because, you know, in that studio, even when I got there, like it was just it was cool to be part of the industry, but you know, I looked up and it wasn't like a lot of raza, you know, so it was like, it was kind of cool, but it was like, yo, where we at? You know?
Yeah.
You were
And
it.
it was me and my boy JP, which is
Yep.
crazy. When I first got to the studio, I was like, "Who's this Mexican dude? Like, what's he doing here?" You know what I'm saying? Like, is
Shout
he
out George
delivering
Peniche,
weed,
though.
or you know, like, 'cause-
JP,
Yeah,
Shout
no,
out.
for those that
Shout out
don't know who
JP.
JP is Jorge Peniche.
yeah. So Jorge is like, you know, I fuck with Jorge the long way. You know, he really put
That's right.
me in situations like, you know, he could really see like,
Couple situations.
yeah, you know, and like he connected me with Kendrick, and he connected me with like the whole, you know, the whole TD camp. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, he really always was like, yo, like, I fuck with your determination, and like we just kind of became good homies and shit. So one thing led to another, and like by this time it was like, okay, that's all money in, you know. So it was like
Yeah.
myself, and like obviously Nip had his core situation, but you know, from a creative and musical perspective, we were kind of like the you know, just
Y'all pulled the strings.
yeah, we try to come up with as many ideas. And for me, it was like, it was cool because, you know, I came in, you know, I was at the time, it was more like my tech side. You know, I had just come out of the tech world. I had given up, you know, being in
IT?
IT, was that white collar world? Yeah, white
Yeah.
collar world, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I literally quit my job, bro. So I was
Damn.
like, you know, I went kind of to the top and saw that there was a ceiling, and I was like, I kind of quit. So it was cool to see that now I was part of a situation. But I think what was really the growth factor of it was that I was with kind of like-minded individuals where like and it was my first time. You know, I know that now,
Yeah.
like all of us, you know, work together and we have these conversations. But at the same time, at that time, I really had nobody to talk with about
Yeah.
like personal growth, determination, you know, watching documentaries, trying to, you know, self-improvement.
Yep.
So I came into this situation where that's really all that it was about, you know, so.
And how important is that, bro? Like, would you say it was to you to be around individuals like that? Because I feel like a lot of times, you know, when you have a certain group of friends, a lot of times it could either hurt you or help you. You know, like, and that time in your life, was that like super beneficial to just be around these people?
Oh, 100%. Just from like, you know, just looking and, you know, being an immigrant at the time,
Yeah.
like really right before I was about to get caught up, I was still illegal. I didn't have my papers.
Yeah.
So my mom really was like, yo, we got to go get your papers before like you get your court case, and they see like, look at this illegal immigrant doing some dumb shit. They're going to
Yeah.
get you out. And, you know, so for me, it was really important to be around those kind of people because it affirmed that, you know, determination really pays off. You
Yeah.
know, like, and being around people that support your ideas, that growth, you know, just being around people that are smarter than you in some sort of way. You know, it doesn't have to be about, you know, technicalities or, you know, the knowledge of, you know, skill level knowledge. It just has to be something that is not who you are. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it was about learning about the music business and learning about how people, you know, you gotta think like Nip went from like a couple, 50,000 to 100,000 to like a couple of million. So I got to see that, what things worked, and got to give my input on, certain things, especially because I was a kind of a sector specialist when it came to technology. So I was like, they would always look at me like, what do you think from a technology perspective,
Yeah.
So it was cool. It was, I think now, even like my studio, so it's like I kind of try to have a similar setup where people come in and they see the kind of shit that I'm on, and it's like, oh shit, like, I hope that people look at that and like, oh shit, there's a trading book. Oh shit, there's like, Rosicrucian's book, esoteric knowledge, or it's like,
it's the place where people can go and they feel like they can get some game.
Even if it's not like right away, because it was like what I saw, like when I walked into Nip's studio, like he had different books, so like one of the books that really changed my just my thought process was 21 Immutable Laws of Branding.
Yep.
And that one just basically teaches you what the concepts of good branding are. So that kind of opened up my eyes, and it was like a book club / like team, so it was like, it's cool. So for me, like I try to kind of do this, kind of foster that same kind of idea, because people come and they think like, oh, you're this or you've done that, and they don't really know kind of what the thought process is behind that. So I think kind of leaving those things out and kind of recreating that same energy, you kind of pay it forward in a sense, And he still got my book, which I thought somebody just
crossing the chasm.
Yeah, the chasm.
You're never getting it back.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good book though. Real shit.
You know what? I kind of got it. All right, so I've had the pleasure of being around you in several situations at this point, right? But I actually, I'm gonna steal the moment real quick and ask you a personal, right? Because I've been wanting to ask you. On my end, I don't really care about celebrities. I've never been that dude. I've been around a lot of family that's in the industry and in different positions, so I don't really value celebrity. But there's two celebrities, male rappers or whatever, that kind of mattered to me a lot. Like
Doughboy Tony.
Throughout my three, I'm sorry. Hey, you know what? Hey, you know what? Hey, no.
I ain't no celebrity.
No. It's all good. I'm an asshole. I should have said 3. And DBT's Mando, fool, because I should not. We here.
I just
I know. But in terms of like impactful, as a young guy coming up and looking at different rappers that I listen to and people that actually either had an impact on me or kind of resonated with me or solidified some of my own thinking, there's only 2 guys, right? Tupac and Nip. Weird enough, like people, very cliche to say Tupac, right? Nip, I feel like, is the closest thing we had to somebody who, and I feel like unfortunately he was, as great as he was and as much of an impact as he had, I think like 3-4 more years and it would have been what it really was going to be, right? I feel like his impact was so much greater. In a couple of years would have been so much greater, right? A lot of people were Fairweather fans. And I say this because I grew up on 65th and Long, right? I'm an Inglewood native. I've seen Nip. I used to race right there on Western at the fucking Chevron all the time. And Nip used to pull up in the cuddy with the Hummy, right? Like,
that's right.
Like, it's just the way it was. Like, I'm part of the same foundation, right? So Nip inspired me. But like I grew up in the hood with a bunch of banged out family. Nip was the one guy that showed you can be from these things, but you could be smart, dog.
Exactly.
You can be smart and involved in some fuck shit, but understand that your intellect comes first. And he kind of was the only rapper that, no matter what your perspective may be, I personally feel like he led on that more so than everything else. Everything else was something that he did to survive, and he may have been good at it, right? It is what it is. If you grew up, you know the deal. But his essence, the thing that makes him different than just like a crook or a criminal out here trapping, whatever, was his knowledge basis, right? I'm saying that to basically say, I don't give a fuck about celebrities, but I am curious about one thing. Did you work on Blue Laces, 1 or 2?
I did not.
Damn, bro.
I did not work on Blue Laces.
And that's fun. The reason why I asked
is one of my favorite tracks too, though, by
right?
the way. Yeah, straight up.
Right. Yeah. And see, I've been bumping Nip since RSC, Bullets Ain't Got No Name, Roll the Windows Down, right? Like trap, bro, out the trunk, right? So I'm a heavy Nip fan, bro, and I'm almost mad that I didn't wear my Slauson sweater right now. I feel some type of way in my marathon. The other thing that I wanted to ask you was, and I didn't really want to ask you, but I feel like a lot of people have an opinion. I think it's better for somebody like myself sitting here and saying certain things is different. You work directly with the person. And I think a lot of people have their opinions, but am I wrong to sit here and say, and again, this isn't necessarily a question for me, but am I wrong to sit here and say he's one of the guys that what he presented on camera was what he was beyond the camera?
Oh, without a doubt.
Right.
Without a doubt.
The other thing I wanted to ask you too is, as somebody that was so close and worked so close with somebody that I think was kind of like a monument, whether or not culture, because unfortunately the culture we live in today is so fast. Yeah, straight
Pioneer.
up. But but with the speed of our culture nowadays, people don't grasp pioneers anymore. We kind of let them slide by, and you know the deal, right? When someone dies, everybody cares now, right? All of a sudden, everybody cares. But my question to you was: is there anything you can think about? Because the hearing you talk about the book club is wild, right? But to somebody like myself that was invested, it doesn't shock me at all, right? But to people that had kind of came on later on like Victory Lap album days and have the wrong perspective, is there one thing that when you think about Nip that was insanely impactful and a unique way that only like somebody like yourself can understand? Is there something you can think of?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So to directly answer that question, so I knew that Nip's music was impactful, right? Because it spoke to people like me directly. You know, like I was hustling, I was out there on the grind, you know, like I literally was cherry picked. I am that internet producer. You know, I got that opportunity. I'm like the result of like, yeah, just send your beats, keep your head down, some good will happen. You know, so
Yeah.
for me, what really was like the wow factor at you know, as I'm going along was when we were kind of, you know, just moving along, just creating these projects, whether it was, you know, Crenshaw or, you know, any of those albums, it was, I got to go through the mailboxes for when people, you know, when Nip would just randomly tweet, you know, send beats producers, and he would just drop an email. Cause that was like music Twitter. That was like the shit, you know, like you really wanted to get on, you follow all your, you know, your favorite artists, and you wait for that link, that email, you know, so you start sending shit. And I got to go through those emails. You know, I got to go through those inboxes. And what really shocked me is
The fucking G-Rise of the world, huh?
what really shocked me was as I'm going through these emails, you would see like, you know, MP3 or like links or some shit. And then you would see, yo, Nip, like that's the title, or like, thank you. And I would open it up, and it's like a full-on story of how Nip has impacted this person, how they're a better father, how they're a better person, how they're in, you know, they just came out of jail and now they have something, a guideline, a blueprint, like real life impact. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like people are just trying to figure out a way to get to this man and let him know, hey, whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Yep.
And for me, that was like, oh shit, like this is something.
He inspired, man.
Yeah, 100%.
He was the living embodiment and epitome of what it means to get it out the gutter, right?
100%.
And by any means necessary.
Yeah, 100%.
And that to me is something that is now, in retrospect, sacred, because I had the privilege of meeting him and conversing with him and being in the studio. That's something that is very unique and special, because he could speak on the truth and stand next to it and be the person to tell you that there is a way to capitalize on what we got.
Yeah, 100%. I think that the important fact is standing behind what you know. I think that we all have access to the information. It's not like any of us here doesn't know what to truly do.
Yeah,
But until you meet someone or you walk in somebody's shoes or alongside them, then you won't really have a perspective. And I think that that's the most important thing, is having perspective. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not the knowledge that you need. It's the perspective.
No, 100%. And if I can add on to that too, that the point you just made about the email, and I'm glad that was your answer, because to me that was the perfect answer for my own persona, right? Like me personally, my family, I keep some of the hood side separate, because if you know, you know, and I don't really hold myself as a man on those things, right? But my lifestyle was very interesting. I grew up, my background is very, you could do your homework, right? It's very certifiable. I'm very okay. with sitting down and saying I come from something, but I've grown out of something, right? When Nip came around in my life, it was two different stages, right? Like he was part of the craziest thing, and he kind of solidified a negative lifestyle in a way, but he was also that voice because I personally growing up, I've always been that smart dude in the hood, right? Like I had big homies that were like, "Hey, nah, don't act like this fool because you're the guy, you're the one who's gonna make it out and represent us a certain way." And I didn't value those things. I didn't get it. I took it almost disrespectfully in a way. But then when I did come to accepting the fact that, because you grew up in the hood and you smart, bro, you a nerd. You know what I mean? There's almost like a negative connotation to having knowledge.
Yeah, there's no pathway.
Exactly. And you got to dumb yourself down in a way just to fit in. And that becomes crazy. But as a man, someday you wake up and you're like, you know what? Like, the really shit about the hood is they ain't got no love. The streets don't got no love for you and nothing. And if you've been through enough, you learn because you've seen homies die. You've seen homies get locked up and forgotten. You've been through certain things and you're like, you know what? I'm going to be a ghost at the end of this. So let me sort it, right? Because I'm a man and I got my family and kids and whatnot. And that becomes conflicting because to sort it means you have to go against yourself in a way. And there's everybody you've built up in your mind and you've learned from and you've grown with and you like, that nobody's saying, hey, it's okay. It's okay to be smart. It's a benefit to be hood and to be intellectual and not to lose either. But understand how to use both, because being book smart and street smart, even in that CEO office, it's going to help, right? But understanding how to tame, I guess, the hood side of it in a proper way, and understanding how to not fake the intellectual side, right? Because it's a different world. When I came out of some shit, right, and I started to make my own businesses, I started to be successful. I went through the thing of erase everybody around you, your environment, your friends, everything that you did in that life, isolate. Go be a monk, go be a recluse and sort it, right? And come out alone. When I came out, at the same time, Nip was monumental in that change on my end, because the voice on my end and the reason why it mattered to me, it wasn't only because we're both from Inglewood. I'm from 65th, he from Rolling 60s, right? We're a fucking pebble stone away. I know what life you lived. I seen you, but it was because we lived the same fucking life, bro. And I always wanted more and better, but I didn't have an outlet of somebody letting me know, like, it doesn't have to stay here. The objective of this life is not to stay here. It's actually to get out. And you don't got to feel bad. You don't got to feel guilty. And the only way you will get out is by leaning on all that shit that you thought was lame. And that's the great irony, right? And keeping both of them. So the same thing that you're saying about the emails was kind of like my testament. It's the only reason why I give a fuck about the dude, right? Because you can look at your Mac Millers. Mac Miller was I love Mac. Yeah. Right? He's positive, nothing but good. R.I.P. One of the GOATs, right? But he could not impact someone like myself the same way. He can make me feel good. He can make me feel like, damn, that's dope to see that's out there, bro. I feel some of that. But he can't speak to me the way that somebody like a Nip could speak. And I feel like, especially with the Latin and Black community, we really needed to see that, yes, these things are true. Yes, you may go through this stuff, and some of this may mold you, and it may fuck with you as a child and trauma, and it may harden you in ways. But a lot of us were hardened by default, not by choice, right? And then you have kids. You have certain things come into your life where you're like, you know what, I want more and better. But there's no outlet of anybody we respect that's from the same place that we're from, that understands how we think and we feel, and, our tribulations and whatever, and then speaks in a different way. And I feel like Nip did that tremendously.
I think he was able to kind of speak to, I saw someone said that, being smart scares people in the hood. I think that's true, because they don't comprehend it, but when you have someone that kind of personifies and packages that up into success, then it's like, it doesn't matter what you think about, smart or something. It's cool to be successful. You know what I'm saying? And success, it just, you have to be smart. You have to, but those are byproducts of success. You feel me? So I think that Nipsey focused on the success, and the byproduct 100%. was the intelligence. You know what I'm saying?
And it's like you're talking about philosopher. Like, the reason why he was so impactful with individuals like us is because, to kind of steal something from Ronnie, he's a credible messenger.
Facts.
He not only lived that life, but he spoke about it in a way where it gave you hope that no matter what situation that you were in, no matter what situation that you might come from, right? like listening to his music, like you were listening to Tupac, it gave you a perspective of hope. And for a lot of us, right, that to your point, Wizzo, that we are a little more gifted, we are a little more intelligent, you know, we're a little smarter than your average bear, right? And it gave us hope that you can be who you are, where you come from, and be comfortable and revel in that, and you can be this as well, right? Because to that point, like a lot of things that ended up transpiring in a lot of our lives were like, yo, like you're too good at that, you're too good at music, you're too good at, like, put your head down and focus on the things that get us paid, right? Which is going to work, construction, whatever it may be. My dad's a construction worker.
Yep.
Love him to death, right? But everything he's ever taught me was to use this instead of my hands, right? Use my mind instead of my hands.
Yeah, my dad was a mechanic, same shit.
You know?
Yeah.
And he's like, I broke my back and I killed myself coming to this country, so you don't have to.
Yeah.
And what Nip really gave us was him being the credible messenger that told us that it was okay to be smart. It was okay to do all these things. It was okay to take that pathway, and you can be who you are and authentically you.
Yep.
Right? And still be successful and still be in these boardrooms and speaking to these corporate individuals,
Facts.
right? And still go home and be a real one.
And not be Illuminati.
Not exactly.
And not be fucking on some bullshit.
I mean, that was one of the biggest things, bro. I mean, I don't want to put my tinfoil hat on right now, but
Put it on, fool.
like,
Put it on, fool.
shit, like COVID, bro. Like, think about it. Like, ain't nobody really real spoke up, you know, during COVID. You know, that's something that Nip would have really done. So, you know, whatever that's for, you know, we didn't really have that voice, but that voice was there. You feel me? Nip was first to stand up, whatever it was for whatever group. You feel me? Like he was always on topic, and I think that not having a voice like that around COVID, we're like, hey man, you know, I think we all felt certain things,
For sure.
but it was like we didn't really have like a celebrity kind of, you know, status, elevated individual that was able to say, nah, fuck that.
No, yeah, a lot of people were
Because that's
scared
what
to give
rap's
their
about,
2
right?
cents.
That's what rap is about. It's fuck the
100%.
establishment, you know what I'm saying? Like,
shit.
it's
fucking-
power to the people, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's really the original rap, hip hop. That's hip hop.
Yeah, it's
message, bro. That's
social
That's the
and-
message of the
That's what it
street.
comes. That's where
you
it
know?
comes from. Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
So like, you know, where are those songs at?
And,
No.
and going to hip hop, right? I guess like I really want to touch on this subject now that I have you here and kind of expand on some of the other people that you worked with, because you worked with tons of folks in the industry that now tons of people respect, multi-platinum, Grammy, you know, Grammy award-winning individuals
Doughboy Tony.
like TBT, you know, to say the least, right? But like, I think the one thing that a lot of people like being in this industry or being in entertainment, being a Latino in the industry, right?
Yep.
Like speaking about for like individuals that grew up in the 90s, like if you love Tupac, then you probably didn't know who Johnny J was.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
nah.
facts, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you love Tupac, you might not know who that name is, right? But that name was instrumental
In
in
the sound.
carving out the sound
Yep.
Oh, but
for
facts.
what we know of Tupac, right?
Sure.
So a lot of people know
And he's
Nipsey.
Raza.
A lot of people know Nipsey, right? But they don't know that, right? You have a brown man who was influential in the sound that you heard, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but when Nipsey passed away, what song did they play at his passing?
Yeah, Crenshaw Slauson, true story.
And that was your song, right?
Yes, sir.
And, you know, a lot of people don't know that, you know, obviously individuals like yourself, JP, right, were very influential from like a cultural perspective, an idea perspective. Can you speak a little bit
Branding,
about
too.
branding, all of that, right? Can you speak a little bit about what it was like and what it's like to be a brown man, a Latino, a raza, working in the industry, and how that had an impact on how you had to move and all of that?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. You know, it was difficult. I think another point of it was, you know, early on, just being a Latino and making hip hop was disrespectful to the raza. You know,
Yeah.
like it was, you know,
Yeah.
because
I can see that.
you know, just because, like, you know, we talk about brown issues, but, you know, there was no brown man to elevate, you know, from us. You know, we haven't really cracked that. We cracked that now. You know, I couldn't see a pathway before for Latinos to really carve these lanes that we're, you know, gracefully soaring through right now. But
Yeah.
back then it was kind of controversial. You know, it was like it wasn't always praises initially.
Yeah.
You know, where it was
Yeah.
like,
Going
oh,
against
you
the
know,
grain.
yeah, you know, it's like you're supporting, you know, someone that's not your own race. You're not, you know, it's like
Yeah.
you always have those situations, and I always felt that, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, it quickly faded. I was, you know, at least, you know, when I was doing my shit, it was a very transitional period for music. You know, there was a lot of different things happening. But as a Latino, just inside of the industry, bro, I was a minority all the time. You know, a lot of Latinos were, you know, runners. You know, people in the studio just bringing shit for us.
Store runners.
Yeah, store runners.
Yep.
You know, managers, things like that.
Yeah.
Producers, we were very few in between, you know, and especially from the creative perspective, you know, it was a little bit, and you know, I don't know people's my mentalities, but you know, Nip had a lot of people around him. I'm sure somebody that was with them for a much longer time, you know, I'm sure they felt some type of way, you know. Here comes this Mexican dude, and you know, now he's part of the, you know, core team, getting named, and you know, executive producer and certain things like that. And I'm sure that had to be some, you know, some type of feelings, you know. And it wasn't that it was anytime direct, but I think we're all smart enough to read the room. You know, the room wasn't always in my favor. You know, not that I needed it to be, not that I expect anything out of this situation, but music is a place where, you know, and it's always been like that. But you always have, whether it's like OGs that they try to you know, gatekeep or just
like
act,
big
you know
dog.
what I'm saying? Fools,
Yeah,
just
like
fools around,
little
that,
homie you
know, just trying to plant seeds, trying to act like farmers and shit. So it's like, for me, it was always,
they've been in the fields.
yeah, for sure. It's like, for me, it was always like, I just wanted to kind of do my own thing. But from a perspective, I was looking at that as like, yo, like if I keep moving the way I'm moving, then I am hopefully gonna be, you know, that inspiration for someone that kind of comes after me, you know. And that wasn't the motivation, but I knew that I could play an important role in that. Like if people saw me move and they're like, oh shit, like this fool ain't a queer, like, you know, like just a fucking, you know, a nerd and shit, and like just like he's like I could relate to him, you know, like I played my part, like, you know, you was doing what you're doing, you know, but the hood always has hustlers, bro.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Always. So like,
Yep.
That was my role. You know, that was my role. I was in the hood, like that's what I played all the time. Like I was trying to bring knowledge, you know, to our people and to my culture, you know. So yeah, you know, to kind of answer your question, it wasn't easy, you know, unfortunately. But I think we're in a much better place now.
Hell yeah, I feel like there's starting to be a lot more respect put on Raza when it
100%.
comes to the industry, bro. Whether it's people rapping or doing what you do, which is engineering or producing, whatever it is, bro. Like there's a lot more people coming out. You start to see a lot of more Mexican rappers getting better placement.
Yep. Big time.
Getting more respect. You know, especially in Los Angeles, there's a lot of artists who are more, you know, established. And they reach out to the younger Mexican rappers, bro, and they want to work. You know.
Yeah, 100%.
And even if it's not just the rap scene, like music in general, I feel like right now Raza's just killing it.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
Raza's really killing it, bro.
I mean, we had to pay our dues, right? There was some songs that kind of came, you know, along the way that it seemed like they were using our culture, you know, like,
Yeah.
and not they like as in none of the people. I'm just saying the vulture, you know, the culture vultures.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like people that want to appropriate on something that
cultural appropriation.
Yeah. You can be any race and you can appropriate a culture. So I speak on those people. They wanted to kind of, you know, they saw that it was starting to get warm for us. You know, it was lukewarm water. So they're like, oh shit, let's add a trumpet, or
let's get a bag.
You know, let's do this, let's do that, and it was cool. I think that's how we pay our dues, though. You know, I think at any time you have something new and creative, and whomever is coming around to kind of bring those things, you're gonna have that sort of appropriation. But I think I'm excited right now because there's a lot of opportunity. I mean, when I started, bro, I was like, yo, I should make music. I should rap. I should do this. But then I was like, yo, it's like a steep wall. It literally is like a 90-degree climb.
Yeah.
Or I can go be a producer. You know what I'm saying? So like, I know now, like you have young fools, like it's cool to fucking slap, the tolo at high school. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like,
Before
Edgar
it was
is a
like,
real
shout out
deal.
to
yeah,
Ken.
it was for sure more looked upon back then.
Yeah,
you know?
bro. Like
Shout
these,
out all the
little
Edgars.
homies is power grabbing.
Yeah.
They got the culture right now.
Definitely. Hey, but speaking of Edgar's, dog, Rolling Loud is gonna be full of Edgar's, fool. Hey,
That part.
Puerta Regida,
It's the
Chinito
capital of
Pacas.
Edgar's.
Hey,
Chino
but
Pacas.
now, dog, apparently we're not gonna see Junior H or Nata on that lineup, bro. I don't know if you guys seen what was going down with
Yeah,
with Jimmy Humilde. What's your guys' opinion on that, bro?
man. To give
Well, for the
some-
people that don't know, my bad. I don't mean to cut you off, dog, but basically, Rolling Loud took Nata and Junior H off the lineup, correct?
yes, they did.
Yes, sir.
And Jimmy ran to Instagram with it and let basically everybody know that it was foul and out of line. And he's saying he was basically saying it's racist, that they took him off. And then Rolling Loud came back with a
Prove it.
statement,
Yeah.
basically
So,
saying what?
Rolling Loud came out with a statement talking about the reasons why they canceled Junior H and
And
Nathaniel.
Nata. Yep.
And the reasons why was for Nathaniel, what ended up happening was they said that he didn't have his work visa and a work permit.
Yep.
Okay.
And for Junior H, that he violated a radius clause.
Yep.
So for people who don't know who radius clause is, well, how would you explain that to them?
So dependent on like what the terms of the radius clause are, it's you're not allowed to do a show within 30, 50, 100 miles for X amount of time, whether
Yep.
that's 3 months, 6 months prior and after the actual show, right?
Yep.
Because they don't want you to cannibalize your fan base. And for your fan base just to go to they're like, why am I going to go to Rolling Loud if I can go see Junior H, a month later or a month before?
Yep.
It doesn't make sense for me to spend money twice when I can just go and because that's the only person that I want to see, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Junior H or Nata or whatever it may be, right? So what this sounds like to me is, I know we're having a conversation on the way up here. It just sounds like a corporate response to this situation, right? Because I dare to say, and I was saying to everybody, this, right? And I'm just making a real comparison is you line up Junior H, Nata, Fuerza Regida, and Chino Pacas versus everybody else on that card that's not named Kanye, right?
Yeah, except Kanye,
in Southern
for sure.
California, though head to head, those individuals are going to sell more records and more tickets to their show than anybody else on that lineup. And that's a verifiable fact.
Yes.
So I was having a conversation with somebody that works at Live Nation. Because if you guys don't know, Live Nation owns Rolling Loud, right?
Shout out
And-
Pascual.
So Live Nation owns Rolling Loud. And, with that being said, it really seems like this was like kind of a big dog moment for them, right? Where something or other happened in the negotiations between them and Jimmy. And Rolling Loud is a multinational corporation with tons of pull, right? They are owners of some of your favorite festivals. And, it seemed like they trying to wiggle themselves out of the situation. And they found a couple clauses in the contract to be able to excommunicate these guys from the lineup. But my question is, and I pose this question to you guys, right? Like, Rolling Loud has always been a hip-hop focused event, right? A hip-hop focused festival.
Yeah.
So why in the world do you have 4 regional artists on this hip-hop lineup?
It's Cloud House.
There's only one answer to that, dog, and it's because Rolling Loud is in LA, bro. And I mean, it's in LA, right?
Yeah.
It's
So
in
far.
LA.
Yeah,
so
so
far.
Yeah, it's in LA, bro. I mean, fuck. I mean, Southern California, LA in general is majority Rasta.
Come on.
How else are you gonna pull numbers? I mean, I know they got other dope artists on there, but a lot of those artists, I mean, they can only do so much when it comes to pulling tickets, except like people like you said, Kanye, and I guess you could give props to like YG. He's from LA, so there's gonna be a lot of LA heads there for him. Nicki Minaj, bro, she's a big ass artist.
But who's popping right now though?
Yeah, no, of course, bro. You want to win over at Los Angeles or California in general. You bring people like Nata. You bring people like Junior H. You bring Fuerza Regida. You bring Chino Pacas, because at the end of the day, Raza is already the number one consumer for like a lot of these events, and now you just added some of the most major,
some of the biggest artists
when it comes to Raza. Come on, man. You know what you're doing with that.
But the one thing I would say, and half of this is a question I pose back to you, right? But the one thing I would say is, okay, Forza and Chino are still on, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. The point that he made about hip hop, I reluctantly agree with it, right? If that is how you look at this festival that is done every fucking year, that it is hip hop, these guys aren't straight hip hop. They're not straight rap. Right? It's kind of its own lane. At the end of the day, I don't know how to feel about it because I don't know if it's racist or not, right? Because you still have these other guys on there. And true racism would mean I don't shake your fucking hand, right? You don't come, I don't need your money. I fucking hate you. Leave. I'll be broke instead of your presence be here, yeah? I think that a lot of these people forever, we're not just the biggest consumers in rap. In California, we're damn near the biggest consumers in everything.
Yeah, that's
true.
Right? In everything.
Everything.
We are the linchpin of it. Like, people make the joke, California used to be Mexico. It still is. We just consider it America, right? Like, let's just be 100, right?
I mean, those statistics are nationwide. We're a pretty large consumer.
And that's what we talked about recently too. And I'm just relegating simple terms for people because what are they, like by 2029? I think old boy was saying that we're going to be 2035. We're the majority, right? And let's stop pretending like, yeah, we on numbers we may not be the majority, but on perspective wise, everybody in all of America understands Latinos. We may not, if you go to Nebraska, they may not give a fuck about an Asian dude, an Indian guy, or whatever. But I promise you, in Nebraska, there's Latinos there, and they've had communication
everywhere.
100%,
right? We are America, right? America's a mixing pot of every single culture that there is. But Tupac once said, "It ain't California without Mexicans. It's not America without Mexicans," right? Several nations have built this in different stages historically. Several different nations have people have kind of built this, whether it was the Asians in the railroad, the blacks during slavery, or the natives and the Mexicans before anybody else's story came. We are kind of like a cornerstone of this nation, and we will forever be not just a cornerstone, but also the apex of it, if you really want to sit down and think about it, right? But the thing that I would think is, it's not racist. It's just that it's the same old thing. Right, Latinos as a people, one of our biggest gripes has also been one of the things that we've respected about ourselves up to a point enough. While everybody else bitches and complains, we just work. We work. We keep our head down. We work. We get it done. We don't bitch. We don't moan. We don't ask. We don't beg. We don't complain. We get through it. But now we've come to a point as a people in this nation where that has become more detrimental to us than it has become helpful. Up until a point, it has been the thing that has kept us away from the firing lane. Right? But now that no longer helps us. Now it's our time to claim what is rightfully ours. Not just to not make a mess. Make a little bit of a mess. We have the right to. But the one thing I will say is these people are not necessarily racist, because racism means I'm not fucking with any of you. I hate everything about you. I will not shake your hand. I will not look at you. Your existence kills me. But what it is monetizing on every fucking other culture I possibly can. Because if I will take these other two guys, but not these two guys, it's because of that fact. My tickets are insanely expensive with zero intrinsic value. There is nothing you're going to get from coming to this concert versus like what you were saying. If you want to see this guy, wait a week, because his ticket's going to be a third of this one. You're paying for an experience here, not just a show. And at a show, you're paying for an experience, but you're getting more than the experience. You're getting memories. You're getting so many different things that are coming with it. And the fact that you just want to be at this guy's show to see him and him sing all his shit.
For sure.
When you come to these events,
yeah,
you're getting something more than just that, right? You're value-wise, I don't think it's more. But it's sold to you as it's more. You're really getting more fucked, right?
Yeah.
But I guess what I would say is these people are they're doing what they've always done. They're finding a way to buy our oranges at 50 cents and sell them at $5. And then the moment this guy's Latinos are smart. Historically, whether it's the pyramids, the biggest and baddest pyramids are on the Yucatan, homie. They're not in Egypt. We have always been the best at taking dirt and making a monument out of it, and not
100%.
bitching and moaning and complaining. Or sorry, we just do it from the mud, right? Yeah. But there has been people that come and steal it. My question would be, I guess more so, with what you say. First of all, is did they just put this fool on blast? That
it just happened. It just Jimmy just posted it
See,
on.
that's what
Instagram,
tripped
like,
me out, dog. Okay,
2-3
when did
days
this
ago.
happen? Like 2 days ago, right?
Like a couple days ago, yeah.
Rolling Loud is this weekend. Why are
Tomorrow.
they?
Thank you.
It starts
Tomorrow.
Oh yeah, well Kanye
performs tomorrow.
Kanye performs
Wait, what?
tomorrow.
Rolling Loud is tomorrow.
Oh, this is a week up.
Why the fuck are they just now like being like, oh yeah, your work permits and there's a radius
Yeah,
clause.
that's not like
I'm
an admin
sorry.
problem.
What the fuck?
Someone needs to get fired for
Like-
that if that's the truth.
Because you know why? The only thing you can do in a moment like that, when it's so close, when it's so fucking close, bro, I can't slander you on your image. I can't bring up you touched a girl, you did this, you did that. But what I can do is you're Latino. You got your papers.
Technicalities. And
Well, I think that they just ran for the sidelines with the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So if you know, and I saw that Jimmy was saying that, you know, they stopped answering his calls and things like that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a lot of hearsay. You know, we
Yeah,
won't know
yeah,
exactly.
We won't know, yeah.
It's all
But it
hearsay,
sounds
my
like
boy.
a press situation. You know what I'm saying? To what you're saying, who would shoot themselves in the foot like that? You know, the reason they're there is because, you know, they call it what they want, even if it's just for ticket sales, even if it's just for filler. I mean, it's a lost leader. You know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't you keep that full lost leader there? You know, but to go back to what you said, I think what you're talking about, as far as like, you know, keeping our head down and, you know, it's not racism because of, I think that's, you know, the answer that we got or that we see coming from Rolling Out is a very like corporate answer,
Yeah.
right? So corporate America has a way of doing business, right? And Latinos, we haven't really figured that shit out. So when someone's like does this wrong, we go fuck you, you know?
Yeah.
We immediately like try to pull out, or we create situations where we X ourselves out. You know what I'm saying? But other cultures, let's just call it corporate America, because there could be many different nationalities, races in this, you know, playing field, playing a certain way. They will fuck you over and then still do, you know, business with you and extract the most out of you.
Yeah,
You know,
value.
so I think if, you know, if we were smarter in these situations when people try to do us wrong, as we leverage the shit out of this situation, in a situation where now when we double back, we really take everything that you got. Instead of, you know, leaving the table, someone's, you know, you're sitting down, you're playing poker, someone's a better poker player, and you're gonna get up and leave? Nah, bro, stay down and get your money back.
Yeah.
You feel me?
1,000%.
And that's the part that I feel. And I think that you hit the nail on the head, and that was the most eloquent way to really describe us, especially as a passionate people. And people forget we're very
sure.
passionate.
The pride, bro,
Emotional response instead of intellectual
it's
response.
working
for sure.
against
The
us,
reality is, not just here, but in so many aspects of life, how many times have we seen our people out of ignorance or out of bad situations? And I don't mean ignorance disrespectfully. I mean ignorance out of lack of knowledge, right? Fuck ourselves out of the position when the reality of it is we built the table. We should sit at it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But because we don't have MLKs in our community. We don't have leaders and like that, and nor does any community right now. They've killed that.
But we've been building the table. We've been doing these things. So what's the difference now? Our pride. That's the only difference. You feel me?
100%.
We have pride. So before we had
We're a lot
pride,
more prideful now.
you know, we had pride for our upbringings and what got us there.
For
Now
sure.
when we're here, bro, our pride is keeping us from that next step.
And just speaking to that, right? Like, you know, you and me have been in the cannabis industry, Junior as well. We've been in the cannabis industry for a very long time. And it's something that I saw very rampant in the cannabis industry, where two individuals or two entities could really fuck each other over, right? And you get one over on you and I get one over on you. But there's a situation that both of you guys are going to benefit from.
Yeah.
And there's a situation that both of you guys are going to make money from. And there's certain groups and certain ethnic groups that will go out there and work with each other and will make that money and say, you know what, I fucking hate you and I really don't fuck with you on a personal level. And the feeling is mutual, but there's a bag in between for both of us. And let's put our fucking emotional feelings to the side and let's go get this fucking bag.
Yeah.
And we've seen that time and time and time again. 100%. But like to your point, like as a people, we're emotional and prideful. And that's why we're so good at what we do. And it's a double-edged sword because it also is a detriment to what we do, right?
Yeah,
because we do everything with fucking corazon.
It fucking bites us in the ass, bro.
Absolutely.
And just to that point, like Rolling Loud being the entity that it is, right? And for them to make this stance, for them to make this statement, I feel like it really speaks onto them having the legal grounds to be able to say, fuck you.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're not going to do that if there is no legal grounds to actually pull them.
Yeah, I mean, that's like laying down a specific card in the right order or calling somebody's bluff. You feel me? You play the hand that you're dealt. You don't look at the dealer and be like, bro, what you doing? Bro, what are you doing with your hand? You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
And
Why
I
are
think
you
that,
hitting on 18?
Yeah, bro.
Pick it,
Like,
dog.
so that's the moment. That's the moment that we're in. You know what I'm saying? That's
Definitely
literally the moment that we're in.
And at the end of the day, it's gonna be really hard to even decipher like really who's correct, who's not, without having all the details. You know, there's always gonna be two sides to a story. But speaking of two sides, bro, that actually came to agreement on something, dog.
Bella,
That we want to bring up. The last topic we
Bella,
bring up
homie.
before we wrap up this episode, man. A big topic too. So they want to ban TikTok in the United States unless China decides to sell, and they have to sell, I believe, within America.
us.
Correct?
180 days.
How do you guys feel about that, man?
We're just strong arming
There's
them,
two
bro.
questions, really. Do you think? Okay, one, do you think it's a good idea? Two, do you think somebody will China actually sell it?
All right.
Those are the two questions I got for you.
So I want to touch definitely want to. I think everybody has something to say, right? I want to touch on this fact, right? Like I do understand that here in this country, we're the land of the free. When we're supposed to
Home
have
of the brave, G.
home of the brave, land of the free, we're supposed to have free speech. The First Amendment guarantees us free speech, and I am one that agrees that individuals should be able to see content, media, news the way that it's delivered, the way that it's intended to be delivered, right? But then putting on a different hat is, do you want a foreign entity and quote unquote an enemy of the state, right? Feeding you information, right? That you're so, look, like the United States, America, we have blood on our hands. That is a verifiable fact.
So much blood.
We disrupt, foreign nations. We've done it since forever, right? We've done it since forever, right? But that's like shitting where you eat. Like you're like, look, I hate this quote unquote individuals that feel that way, right? Which I don't, but individuals that feel that way is like, I hate this country so much because of all the things that you've done. I'd rather destroy the house that I live in, right? To prove a fucking point than to sit there and say like, look, like, do I agree that we should have access to free media? Yes, but I do agree that the other hood having it, right? Our rival country having this information and access to our population is probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
And we should do something about taking it out of the hands of people that really intend to do harm to us and our society overall. And I mean, that is the truth.
Yeah.
Because China is, and other entities like China, right, have been financial warfare, psychological warfare, cyber warfare, right? It's not always just sitting there and fighting, right? So, the question I pose to all those individuals that are like, don't ban TikTok, don't do this, and that, is like, do you really want a quote unquote enemy of the state that has no interest in your well-being being able to manipulate you and feed you information versus the home country that you live in?
I mean, I think that we should paint some perspective.
Facts.
To speak on what you said, like, you should have access to free information, right?
Media.
So what I mean, technically, how does that happen, right? You have millions of people creating content that you want to consume, right? How do
Yep.
I get that content to you? So the way that happens is you write an algorithm, right? So the algorithm is going to determine who the best consumer for that content is going to be. And, you know, speaking on blood in our hands, you know, the documentary that we talked a lot about, Cambridge Analytica, you know, the great hack, we've exercised our ability to use and weaponize social media and big data to do that exact same thing. And this is out there, you know, where we figured out topics where people are most closely related to, ways that we can, you know, altercate and get these radical groups together.
Fucking coups, you
know,
fucking name it.
And we've done that. So when you talk about serving that content, right? I mean, I doubt China's serving the same, you know, enemy of the state content to their own people. They're not, you know, and I think that that's been known that China serves as a different content. So I think that the scary part is who has a knife, right? Do we want Sam to have the knife, or do we want, you know, China to have the knife? Because what China could be doing is swaying and practicing that same thing that we did to when we figured out how we could weaponize technology, right?
Facts.
So the thing is not the data here. I don't think the thing is like people give a shit about, you know, TikTok itself.
Nah.
I think it's the algorithm that they're employing that is now obvious, right? I think right now there's a proliferation of information on TikTok that's a little bit like anti-America.
No, yeah,
Right?
there's a lot.
You know,
There's a lot
and
of
it's like kind of big, like kind of elevating the status of China, which is cool. You know, you run ads, you own the ad agency. You're always gonna put your logo bigger than everybody else's, right?
Yeah.
So how does that translate to technology? It's like the algorithm, right? So right now, I'm betting that algorithm is just causing too much trouble than it's worth.
Yep.
For America.
Yeah.
So now is like they gotta hand that knife over to somebody. Now the thing is who's gonna go get that knife,
Facts.
and do we want them to have it? Do we want our own people to have it? Because we've noticed that we're more self-destructive than we actually think. We might not even need China to fuck us over, bro.
Nah.
They might have just
We
built.
don't.
They built the bomb. They built the knife, and then
They're gonna hand it to us, though.
It's like dropping a bunch of guns in the hood, bro.
Hey,
That's
dog.
what they did.
They're gonna hand it to us.
You know what I'm saying? So
We got a super chat from the OG himself.
Big
Big Gil,
Gil.
man. He
Oh,
said,
shit.
This is the same government that has no problem with everything made in China, profit in selling us out, but scared of TikTok.
100%, bro.
That's
I was
crazy.
saying that. I was like, yo,
Big bomb.
the reason you got like all these entrepreneurs and drop shippers and like, you know, this whole like,
China.
you know, do this and you make millions of dollars on the TikTok. Find your product. You know, it's China, bro. They're
Yeah.
making millionaires out of us. And the reality is over there, they got like maybe 12, 13, 14, you know, a handful of factories. And it's just a whole economy built on serving us, bro.
Yep.
That's all they're doing,
Yeah.
you know?
If I can add on, thank you. My bad. We're gonna have to pass this back and forth. We're gonna rock paper scissors. This mic real soon, dog. If I could add on to, because I think both of you kind of made very, very important points that nowadays a lot of people want to be political without understanding politics, and a lot of their opinions, they're just what you guys said is going to fly over everybody's head, but they're two of the most important things. One thing that you said, do you think they're feeding this to their people? In fact, they're not. TikTok China is vastly different. It's we know this, but a lot of everyday people that want to cycle their bullshit life and try to get famous off TikTok, they don't understand the beast that they are feeding within their own nation. So they think they're sustaining themselves and providing an option for themselves to get noticed and notoriety, which eventually they can monetize. But what they don't realize is they're slowly jabbing this very slow needle. It's 1,000 cuts, death of 1,000 cuts, the irony of China, right? And they don't understand that, first and foremost, if you look at 2 days ago, I was on Instagram and I saw something that blew my fucking mind and terrified me. In China, they have this crazy game they play where they give these kids real fucking guns. Or they're prop guns.
Oh, I saw that.
Right? And then they have the iPhone on it and they're scanning and going and shooting. Okay, what are they waiting for? What are they preparing for? What are you leading? One thing that, unfortunately, the worst man in the fucking world, the worst man in history, Hitler, said something that was so real. Do not, if I want your nation, I don't take you. Give me your children. Give me your children. You give me the kids, and I promise you,
Damn.
I will take your nation. So now, if I don't have to give you my kids, but I understand the value of children, because well, don't give up the kids, homie. But if you can take your own kids, and you can train them for something and prepare them for something, what would you prepare them for?
Well, that was the Rockefeller model. You know,
Thank
that's really what I mean. Hello.
Damn,
You know,
fool.
they're like
Damn,
this
bro.
is the
Hey.
result right here. This is
Yeah.
everything that we experience is the
Hey,
result.
hey,
It's
hey,
just a-
Wizzo,
it's
you
a
know
Rockefeller.
why I love having you here right now, bro? Because I'm realizing that like you're gonna put the tin hat on for me, and I always feel guilty when I put it on. No, but for real, like, and to your point, right? Like, in another one, never let a good crisis go to waste, right? But if you really think about it, TikTok, there are two TikToks. There's China TikTok and the world's TikTok. Who do you want to have the knife? Yeah, there's a lot of blood on our hands, but I'm never gonna fucking sink the boat that I'm on.
No.
It's Team America, period. Why? Because I'm in America. I am
Exactly.
Mexican
I'm on this
American.
boat.
Straight up.
I lift up.
You know, pop your own raft,
100%.
G.
I mean, just to that point though, right? Like, just a little fun fact for everybody. Since we've became a nation, the longest amount of peace that we've had at any time, about 20 years, right? About 2 decades of just straight peace. But when I think about TikTok and I think about how it came into play here in the States, the amount of data they were able to extract from people that were using it, initially, the demographic that was using TikTok was like my nieces, right? Was like underage, the children,
The majority of them, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And fast forward, right? It's kind of swayed now, and now the pendulum has swung to the above 40 demographic, right? So I think China has deployed the ultimate stealth weapon.
Trojan horse.
Yeah, it's a Trojan horse, bro. Like how do you sway people? How do you sway emotions? How do you get people to be emotionally reactive? How do you divide people? It's through this platform, right? And yes, the Republicans and Democrats finally came together to fucking finally agree on one issue, which is fucking TikTok. But to that point, right? We're gonna give the fucking blade to Uncle Sam. What the fuck is Uncle Sam gonna do with it, right?
The same thing that they did with Facebook, you know, build it
Yeah.
into an entire platform where they know where you're at, you know.
What you're doing.
Edward Snowden, I mean, everybody knows Edward Snowden. That was the biggest whistleblower on this topic, you know.
Yep.
Before you move, let me ask one question. Why do we need TikTok? Why the fuck can't we make America's version?
No, I don't think it's about because there is already different versions of it.
course.
I think
YouTube too.
it's adoption. You know, it's just like anything else. Somebody comes along, creates a platform. It literally the reason people fuck with TikTok is the algorithm is so good.
But you know
It's
what?
very
It really
good.
is
But-
really
It's so
good.
simple.
but
It's
you
so
know what I would
easy,
challenge
dog.
you on?
Really good,
As
bro.
you are
the
somebody-
interface is simple,
100%.
and a lot of that technology is patented.
But
That shit is like Google now.
okay,
bro.
and
So
that's
it's
a
like
good point.
so the thing about it's an American company, you know.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
they're here.
yeah,
They
yeah.
have servers in Ohio. So like just like anybody, I can go to Dubai and create an LLC, and now I have
Yeah.
a Arab company. You know, so
But that
the same
only
thing here.
works because China's a communist nation. In America, we call it capitalist, but we're capitalist commune. We're a
Right.
hybrid
Well,
system.
right. Well, somebody comes in and we don't like them. Now all of a sudden we can't be that
Yeah.
all the way there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
So it's like, but I think it is the reality. It's the algorithm, you know, and if you want to do something about it, then, bro, I train Instagram. Like I fuck with Instagram a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Because TikTok is really like I'm seeing it now as a creator, a platform, you know, like it's a good outlet for creators.
Yeah.
Instagram stopped being like for photographers. Now it's like for
100%.
connections and all that shit and
Models.
all that shit, you know. So
It's like
bro,
music Twitter.
Big booty bitches.
yeah, it was like music Twitter, you know, and things evolve. You know, I think what's happening to TikTok is becoming the new Instagram, just like how
TikTok.
Instagram became, you know, Facebook ruled itself out. You know, and like it's just a
Facebook's
conveyor.
making a comeback.
It's a conveyor belt, bro, of technology that we
Okay.
go through. But what I was trying to get to is TikTok and the algorithm, bro, that it serves people. Like if you want to really understand the algorithms, bro, like on Instagram, like I started to kind of be conscious about this. So I started to really like not like a lot of shit, like just random shit, bro. I like sometimes I just don't want to see negativity, bro.
But it still shows you bitches though.
Bro, I stopped. Like no lie, I was like, yo, I just want to focus on, you know, I just want to clear my mind. I don't want like no surprises, bro. Like no random shit where I'm scrolling and I just fall down the rabbit hole on some topic that I don't fuck with. And I cleaned up my Instagram algorithm.
Same, brother.
And then like randomly, bro, it'll throw me like bitches or like killing, murder, like one, bro, one or two, like a picture of a big old booty or something, or like
why are you mad
like
at that?
Like, you know,
I'm
like,
very happy.
Hey, bro, like it's cool, bro. But then like then like if you look at it. And then your whole feed becomes it's bro. It's like, bro, you know.
Okay, but let me ask you something, because the one thing that I really appreciate about having you on here is you're not just a music producer. You, and I've said this about you from
not
the
talking
jump,
shit
right?
on booties, all right?
No, don't. I do not co-sign the shit talking to big booties. All right, I co-sign the shit talking to poisoning our mind, but big booties, let's not do that. All right. But the one thing that I do respect about you, man, is that you're not just a music producer. You have a very genius and creative mind of your own, right? Which has allowed you to be an engineer in so many different aspects. It allowed you to invent things in so many different aspects. But that also means you understand perspective. You understand data, right? Like not too many people can take in data. It's a weird thing. Everybody thinks they understand what that means, but not too many people have the brain to really process information like that. You understand algorithm, right? To an extent, and I'm sure there's parts you don't, because the algorithm is a ever-changing motherfucker as it is, right? But not so many people even understand. They can't even define the word algorithm, right? My question to you would be kind of partly what he said. In my mind, I don't want TikTok from America the same way I don't want Huawei, right? You're a communist nation. My job is not to sit here and fight China, fight communism and all that shit. That's old world bullshit. My job is to preserve America, is to preserve the concepts and the things that we believe in here at home. I don't have to fight my neighbor. I don't have to care about what my neighbor does. I have to care about what my children do, right? Now, me personally, if my neighbor is smoking doha, and if you don't know what doha is, it's like a Middle Eastern tobacco. And for whatever reason, I think that that's terrible. Well, my kids aren't going to smoke it, period. There's no room to contemplate perspectives, opinions, and things like that. No. My kids, I'm in charge for. So for me personally, you understand algorithm, and you understand how algorithm is kind of becoming sentient in its own way, although it may not be sentient. It's creating its own little, I guess, ecosystem where it's taking all these data and learning how to curate the worst things to you. Curate your negatives, because let's be honest, news is really just negative feedback that keeps you locked in, because fear is the best way to keep you focused on something. The future is hard to stay focused on because it doesn't happen today. The present we never give a fuck about. The past hurts us, right? But to sit down and to understand how an algorithm works, algorithms are not natural to the psyche of people, right? It would only be natural to a computer system. We do, but the communication and technology is moving at an exponential rate that humans could never catch on to. It is intrinsically quicker than us. It is it stacks up, it multiplies, it compounds. It compounds its knowledge, it compounds its movement, right? Man can only evolve, but technology doesn't have to. Technology multiplies and multiplies and multiplies. And by the time it's at 100x, you're at 2x if you're lucky, if God came down and gave you a blessing, right? The reality of it is we could never be quicker to it. Although all the algorithms' knowledge is based on human existence, we can't learn and adapt at the same rate that they do. So my question would be, do you really want China anything here at home? Because and you have a tinfoil hat, and I'm more than positive of everything you've said so far. You know that China owns a bunch of American land, and I'm pretty sure you know that China doesn't do direct warfare with us. They do economic warfare. They do intelligence warfares. They do every other warfare.
They have to do it that way.
They do, but they're better at doing it that way.
Yeah.
Because it's not that they don't. Let's be real.
We're
If-
just ready to blow shit up.
straight up. Well,
we had this conversation on the way here, right? I don't think anybody's stupid enough, hopefully, right, to fucking cause a nuclear holocaust. Because once one goes up, we're all fucked, and that's it. We're done. Right?
That depends on
plenty
how
The
of
many
only
people
safe
tinfoil hats.
American Cholo Studios.
Straight
It's
up.
the only
You know,
safe place.
Straight up. Well, hey, don't come here, but we'll come here.
Iceland. Wizzo was
Nah,
putting me
nah,
up on
nah.
that. Iceland is
New Schwabenland. Google that. New Schwabenland. You want to know about some shit? New Schwabenland, homie. Look that up real quick. Fuck Iceland. Fuck Antarctica. There's another side of Antarctica that if you didn't peep game when World War II was going on, you're a fucking idiot. Because there is all the conspiracy, flat Earth, who gives a fuck, right? That's all stupid. New Schwabenland. You want to know about some shit that you don't know about that is on the CIA.gov.
I know one thing I do know. Big Gil said you got 5 TikToks account, philosopher.
Damn.
Hey, you know what? But
He
they're not
said
the
you
real
single-handedly sway the algorithm.
Hey,
He
dog.
said philosopher got 5 TikTok accounts, dog.
None of them are mine. I don't have to.
That's crazy, bro.
I don't
Shaking booty on the TikTok, bro.
Shake your booty on the TikTok. Oh man, hey, but damn, man, we had a good ass episode today, bro. You know, we about
We
to
didn't
get
talk
ready
about
to wrap
crypto,
this
fool.
up.
Fuck.
We didn't get. We're gonna have to have a part 2, dog.
Yeah,
part
We're
two.
gonna have to have a
Part
part
two.
2.
Bring
Have
the
Big
Wiz
Wiz come back up here, dog, and fucking
out
drop some
tinfoil.
more fucking knowledge. Yeah, bust out the tinfoil again.
That's right.
Hey, but before we wrap this up, man, anything y'all want to let the people out there know? Any
Man.
shout outs, anything?
Shit. Fuck the Clippers way.
Man,
Play
fuck you, dog.
Straight up, bro. Laker gang, homie. That's right.
Arriba los Chivas.
Oh,
that's
it's about
crazy.
time that
Hey,
game starts. It might have started
He
out.
had to whisper. He had to whisper it, fool. He had to whisper it.
Whisper.
It's probably like 5-0 already.
Hey, fuck the Niners, but shout out my primo though.
Shout out Adrian, fool. Shout out, homie.
Adrian, dog.
That's right.
Philosopher.
Oh, man, shout out, Hadar. That's right.
That's
That's the
yeah.
weed company I got right
Hadar,
there.
that's right,
If you
baby.
tired of that Snickle Fritz, come fuck with some Hadar. Get you some real weed. It's been a long time since gas was around. But also one thing, this man got a Grammy for the fucking Nipsey. Don't let that shit slide, all right?
Yeah, let's go.
Hell yeah. All right, boys. Well, appreciate y'all again, man.
Yeah, good
Coming
looking out,
through.
Tony.
Se la
Yes,
lavan.
sir. Another episode of What's the Word on Wednesdays. Y'all make sure y'all tap in next week, man. We're going to have another special guest, and I'm sure y'all going to fuck with it, man. Everybody have a blessed night. Peace.
Sheesh.
Peace.
Sheesh.
Palabra de Dios.